God, are you wearing a velour tracksuit?
I am. Oh my God, you look so cute.
Thank you. Thank you. I love the stuff with the shoulder out. That velour tracksuit is so iconic. It goes so well with the podcast.
Right? I know. I'm reliving my early 2000s fashion.
Yes. Okay, welcome to Blonde Highlights. I'm your host, Kyle Hennessy.
And I'm Kris Yo.
So, girl, what is going on today?
Okay, so I have some news that I'm really excited to tell you. So I don't know if any of you guys remember that last week my low light was I wasn't being paid for usage of a job, blah 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 blah. Long story short, my bulldog of an agent got me paid usage. Yes. So my low life have now turned into something really good, which is fun. But I was so excited to tell you that. Oh, and I have started, I think you and I talked about this before, but for the third time, I've started watching Desperate Housewives, my favorite TV show.
Oh my God. I've never watched it all the way through.
Oh my God, Kyle, what? Why?
I know.
You have to.
I know. Do you know? Okay, so one time I was doing hair for this like TV wedding, and it was on like the Universal lot, and I was like on my lunch break, and I just kind of like walked off, and I walked down Wisteria Lane with all the houses.
Oh, how did you see any of that?
I was like,
was this at the time of them filming?
yeah, I saw them all. Yeah, I was like trying to get out of the Universal lot in my car, and I'm like, I drove down Wisteria Lane. I'm like, oh, this is where they filmed the Desperate Housewives.
That show is just so iconic. And now when I watched it in high school, and then I watched it a few years ago, actually with Michael, he watched it with me. And now that I'm married and like a stepmom and I'm watching it, I'm like, this show is heading in different directions now. It just gets better with age. Like I love it so much.
Yeah, it's like scandalous.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, it's scandalous.
Okay, so
But what I love is that each character is so different, but you can see yourself in ways in each character. It's like there's Gabby, who's just like a brat, which is just all around me to Michael, duh. And then there's like Dree, and she's just, I love her. Okay, I'll stop. I'm gonna get into all the characters, but just watch it. Just please watch it. Watch it.
Yes, watch it. So, what is your highlight and your low light?
Okay, so my highlight is, guess who's coming?
Ew.
Me, bitch. What do you think I'm talking about? Who else should I be excited? Yes, everyone. I'm coming to LA. I'm so excited. I actually don't know why I'm going because I'm opted for a job for an earlier date that I'm set out to go. So like I don't know when I'm coming, but I know it'll be May 17th. If I don't book this job, then I will be in LA and we get to film in the studio together.
Yes. Are you guys ready to see us film in person together? It's gonna be epic.
It's gonna be so much fun. I can't wait. And we're gonna get cute outfit and we're gonna do the whole damn thing. Like I'm really excited.
Yeah, we're gonna be glamour girls.
Yeah, and I'm also just excited to have some friggin' sunshine because it's like so gross here. But
yeah, make sure you bring your swimsuit because the pool's just outside.
No, I know. I told Michael, I was like, yeah, like Kyle has a pool. And he was just like, you're just a brat. This pretty, he was so jealous. I'm like, bye guys, bye family, gotta go. Pool's calling.
I laid out and got a tan the other day.
Oh God. My low light is, okay, so this isn't like a really big deal. Okay, but I had my period this week, okay, and I'm not being graphic, but it was one of those months where it's just like, I can't move. And so anyways, Michael got pizza, and I always have to order a special pizza, like a gluten-free one, and the boys all just share the same, like party size, wherever they get. So we always kind of, Michael and I always kind of battled because I always end up getting like a better pizza than him. And this week,
Yeah.
on my period, when I was like at, death's door, I was like just wanting my good pizza. And I think I had like the worst fucking pizza I've ever had in my life. I didn't even eat it. And like, if you know me, if I kind of don't really like something, I'll still just eat it. But I could not. I was like, the whole thing was awful. So my low light's not that big of a deal, but to me at the time, it was like earth shattering. It almost brought me to tears because I was from my mom. So whatever. What about you? What's your highlight? What's your low light?
Okay, my highlight is something kind of ridiculous as always, but do you guys know Poppy and Petunia?
What is Petunia? Am I supposed to know this? Is this a royal?
Poppy and Petunia are mini cows. They're mini heifers, and they're so freaking cute. And they're all over Instagram and TikTok and all the social media sites. And it's these two little mini baby cows. They're named Poppy and Petunia, and they're so adorable. Like, I just want to hug them. I want one to come live with me.
Oh my
And now my entire life mission is to have a farm with a bunch of mini cows.
I love that. I hadn't seen them. I'm gonna have to look them up. They sound like royal names. That's why I thought they were royals.
Well, they are royal. They're royal.
They're regal.
Yeah. They're very regal animals, and they're very adorable. And,
Where are they based out of?
I'm obsessed.
Where are they based out of?
I don't know where they're based out of. Somewhere in the US. Yeah, they're like taking over the internet. Everyone's obsessed. You have to look up Poppy and Petunia, the mini cows. It's the most adorable thing. Like, I cry when I watch them. Like, I get emotional because it's so freaking cute.
Oh my God. Can you look that up? I can get behind that. I can get behind some cuteness.
Yeah. Get behind that. Yes. In the messy world that we're living in, look up mini cows.
Okay, what's your low light?
Okay, my low light is more on a serious note. So I don't know if I've talked about this in the podcast, but I struggle with fibromyalgia pretty bad. And it's really like overturned my life or whatever. But I'm a hustler and I fight it every day like crazy, okay? But my low light of this is that people are constantly trying to discredit me when I'm having like I had a really bad flare up this week, which means I'm in like an intense pain and stiff and like, it's hard to walk and get around a lot, whatever. But people are constantly like, oh, you must have ate something that caused you some inflammation. Or there's just always these excuses people have to discredit the severity of the struggle that I'm in. And I think that anyone with chronic illness or chronic health problems can relate to this, where people are constantly like, because they can't see it, they don't want to believe that it's real. And also, I think something that me and my therapist has talked about is it scares people.
Yes.
That someone like me that was so fit and so healthy and so whatever this can happen to them. You know what I mean? And I think it's more of a genetic thing because there's other people in my family that struggle with this. But it's just frustrating when people are constantly trying to, put their own narrative on my struggle to make them feel better about themselves or to make them feel less scared that this could happen to them. It like brings out something in people where they need to shut you down for their own mental like ability to accept it. Does that make sense?
Yeah, almost like they try to justify it as a reasoning that you're in control of the pain because they want to act like it's your fault and it can't happen to them.
Yes, because, and that's what kind of happened. I kind of just all of a sudden this came on and it became like overturned my life. And I think a lot of people see that and they're scared that something like this could happen to them, and it's, and I don't know for sure, but it's just it's frustrating because it is a real illness. It is a real struggle. It's something that I choose to fight like hell and I choose to continue to work and do whatever. But whenever I have a really bad flare up and I'm really, really struggling, it's just constant thing of people like justifying the reason for certain things. You know what I mean? And it's like I've seen every Western doctor, Eastern doctor. I've done it all. You know what I mean? Like, and this is, it just is what it is. But it's just so frustrating when, people try to label it as something else that I've done, whether it's my negative thoughts or I'm just not being positive enough, or, this or that, or you know what I mean? You're not drinking enough water, or this, or, and it's like, no, like this is happening,
Yeah. I just think that
I'm not lazy. And that's the other thing too. It's like, I'm not lazy. It's not that I don't want to do it. I want to do as much as possible. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's not, it's out of my control. And that's the thing, is I can't control it.
I mean, I've never experienced something with chronic pain, but I do experience the pains of my period, which are, they're just like so bad sometimes, where like I've had to go to the hospital because of them, because I can't move. And I don't understand on the full level and the capacity that you do, because yours is random and more of a day-to-day thing. But I do understand your frustration, because there are times when I'm on my period and I'm like, I'm dying, and other people are just kind of like, well, it's just your period. Or, oh, just throw a heating pad over it. Or, oh, take some back. And it's like, no, like, I'm like in so much pain. And it's like, there's nothing, like, they're not doctors. So nothing that they say or do, like, I understand is going to help. But when they are just acting like they know the cure of it, and that their little suggestion is just going to solve everything, and they're kind of being rude about it. Like, there's a difference in being suggested in a supportive way, where it's like, hey, did you know that these foods could cause inflammation? I read about this, and this might, be a contributing factor to your pain. Versus, this, are you doing this? Are you doing that? Like, talking like a doctor. Like, there's a total difference. And I think that is just really rude. And I think people need to be a little bit, there needs to be some sort of empathy for the fact that, like, I'm just thankful I don't live in chronic everyday pain, but, I think that there needs to be some sort of empathy. Like, if you're functioning in a body that doesn't hurt, and someone who's in like actual physical pain and you can't move, like, I know how bad your flare-ups are, that you've been really honest with me about them. I just don't understand how people just couldn't have any empathy and instead just try to make it about themselves.
Exactly. You said it so much better than I did. And, and sometimes it's okay to just, for your friend to say to your friend, I'm sorry you're going through that. That sucks. That's all it takes. All I needed is someone to say, like, what, I hear you, and I'm sorry you're going through that. And that's a perfectly good answer. You don't need to try to solve the problem. Like, I haven't seen a million doctors.
Yes.
And you don't need to try to like blame it on me.
Yeah.
Or whatever. Sometimes it's just simple, I hear you, I feel for you, whatever. Like, I'm sorry you're going through that, And I hate this like thing of like, I've given up on myself or whatever. And it's like, no, if I give, you know what I mean? I'm not on disability living in my parents' basement. I'm out here hustling my ass off and fighting for everything. You know what I mean? So don't discredit me when I'm like, have a little like flare up and I'm in bed for a day. You know what I mean? Because I'm going to get out and fight hard,
And you're doing,
and so it's like, I haven't given up at all,
No, and you're doing the right thing. If your body's in that much pain, you need to take a day off. That you need to just allow it to rest. Like, for instance, my period the other day, I don't know why, I had like one of the worst pain-related periods I've ever had in like so long. I couldn't get out of bed. Michael did everything that day, and he was running in the fence, and I physically couldn't move. And it's like, I'm very lucky that I have a partner who understands that and doesn't make me feel like shit for it. But like, I don't think that, you should be hard on yourself if you need to take a day and rest in bed. But I know that it's not an option for some people. And I know that I think that there's people out there who wish that they could take a day, and maybe they don't support you taking a day because they never get to take a day in bed to just rest. Because I mean, like back tone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But Yeah, and don't hit me with your toxic positivity.
Yeah, that like
Okay,
get that out of here.
get out of here. So here's the thing. So we took one thing I love about this podcast is that we can actually like we'll talk about something kind of serious. We can have a serious conversation and then immediately segue into like laughing and having a ball, okay? So, Kris, there's an energy in the air right now in LA.
What?
I feel it. Guess what's happening in Los Angeles right now? We got boots on the ground. Miss Gypsy Rose herself has touched down in Los Angeles.
I hope you there when I am.
She better be. Oh my God. I feel like out of breath.
Okay.
Okay. Miss Gypsy, she is our blonde queen. Face beat to the gods.
She is giving full Gorgina vibes. Like she is just here for it. She's the ultimate Gorgina babe. I love her. Like I saw her video and like took me by surprise. I knew she was getting her notes done. I knew she was going blonde.
Yeah.
I didn't know she was going for the whole tan look. Hot.
Yeah.
Her teeth. She did her teeth.
Yes.
Oh my God. I genuinely, it took me a minute to really like register because I was looking at her and I was like, oh my God, like she looks like fucking good. And then I was like, oh my gosh, she got her teeth done. And I felt really excited for her because I know that getting her teeth done has been something that she's wanted to do for years because her teeth are very triggering for her because it's a constant reminder of her, but her mom and the trauma and all of that of her past will just say, but she's looking good.
She's good. She's blonder than ever. She's tan. She got the And then I saw so basically like she teamed up with this makeup artist. I think it was Alexis Oakley or whatever, and so she's the makeup artist for all the cool like Gen Z TikTokers and all the popular girls in their 20s like go to this makeup artist, get their makeup done. And so I wore a lot of blush today in honor of Miss Gypsy because she was sporting a very blush heavy look.
Yes.
And yeah, oh my God, but her hair looked so good. Her haircut, the color, the blonde, the makeup from that girl was just like on another level. It was teeth, like it was just like that moment of like, here she is, you know what I mean?
Yes.
And I love that she did like this unveiling of this is the woman that she is, you know what I mean? Like
she's wanted to be, and I love it too because her nails, she did a big white French manicure. You know what I mean? Like those kits. And I was like, she's been wanting to do those forever. Like, oh my God. As soon as I found her, I was like, yes, become your own. I was genuinely so excited.
Yeah, and then she showed up in a red blazer like suit. Honey, she was ready to run for office. She was ready to run for office in that suit. Yes.
She was like, fuck then, I'm done. Ryan, bye-bye. Which I heard more tea on their separation. Apparently, allegedly, according to my TikTok source. Part of the reason why she broke up with Ryan is because he had too many doggy bags in the fridge. He had this snoring. That's so embarrassing for Ryan.
It said she was sick of him hoarding doggy bags from restaurants. That he wouldn't eat all his food and he would take it to go, and it was hoarding in the fridge, and she didn't know what was old, what was new, and tossed it all.
Like, well, the hoarding was very triggering for her because of that mother of hers and her upbringing, and
yes,
I get it, but like, I was just like, holy shit! Could you imagine? Like, everybody has little habits that they don't want people to know about. You know, everyone has to really do. That's like, okay, I'm just gonna be really embarrassing. That has to be Ryan's. Like,
yeah. Yeah.
you know, and like, it's just like, why? It just seems like such a weird thing. I mean, like, maybe he has like some sort of anxiety or something where he doesn't like to eat in public. And I get it and
Yeah.
whatever. And I'm not downing him for bringing home the doggy bag. I just think it's so funny. Just couldn't fucking stand it.
She's good dick.
You know, it's time for divorce.
You know, Ken is putting down that food.
And it's like, there's no leftovers
She's
here.
like, my man. No leftovers for Ken, honey. I don't think she's surprised about that. I mean, I don't leave leftovers. I'm eating down. Like, I'm gonna eat that food.
I need my job to get confirmed like ASAP so I can be in town. I sound like a stalker now. I'm not.
You need to be here. Well, the crazy thing is that last episode we were talking about a stalker in a negative way, and this week we were like, we are stalkers.
Last week we were like, where the heck is Gypsy Rose? And now all of a sudden it's like, bitch, she's in town.
She's in town. She's rolling in. Of course she is, honey. This is her Gypsy Rose podcast. She is listening to us, you know. And I think she used our hair as a reference to the stylist. I think she was like, I want my hair to look like Kris and Kyle.
Yeah.
You know?
Yes. She's like, I want, blonde highlight. Oh my God.
Blonde highlight.
We're like a full circle.
Yeah, I like.
I'm loving all of this.
So I live in, I'm not gonna tell you where I live, stalkers. But I live in West Hollywood by where like all the like nice hotels are. So I know for like, and I see in the background of some stuff, I know that she's staying in my neighborhood. Like I know that she's staying in a hotel like near me. And so this morning, every time before we film, I run up and I grab a little energy drink from the liquor store up the street. And there's like a big hotel. I was like, is she you allowed to see?
I will be so jealous. I will be.
Oh yeah, I feel like she's gonna go to like one of the hot, like popular, like social media like spots where they go for like brunch and stuff.
No, she's gonna go in for a podcast. She's gonna go in to our studio for a podcast because that's a popular studio.
Oh my God. Yeah, she probably is. And you know what? I saw her. Okay. So I saw her too. Like, do you know, like, I don't know if you know this because I am a grown 30-something-year-old adult, but in my head, I am a Gen Z TikToker. Okay. So do you know who Tana Mojo is or Brooke Shove?
No.
Okay. Well, they're younger. They're in their 20s, but they have a podcast called Canceled Podcast.
Oh, yeah.
And
yeah.
They're both like, yeah. And so Tana has been around forever. And I like love her. She has the same name as my sister. But I saw a video where like Gypsy was FaceTiming them.
Yes, I saw that.
The makeup artist, the makeup artist that's working with her has posted like 10 videos on TikTok with her. And then, in like a day. And then there was one where she was FaceTiming. So I wonder if she's going to go on the Canceled Podcast. Like, I'm sure she's going to hit the rounds of the LA podcast to promote this Lifetime show.
Her on our podcast. You know what's funny?
We got to get her on.
I didn't recognize the names of those podcast hosts.
Yeah.
But as soon as you said Canceled Podcast, I was like, oh, yeah, duh, those two. They are so cute and fun. Oh, my God.
Yeah.
But we need Gypsy on our podcast.
But yeah, I think she would feel more at home with us. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
Like we both come from like kind of the country a little bit, you know.
Mm-hmm. But
we don't take doggy bags to go.
no, we eat all our food, even when we're full. We finish it. Oh my God!
Oh God. Okay. Do you have anything else to add about Miss Gypsy Rose?
Girl, I could go on and on right now. I'm so excited. I'm like throbbing on the inside. I'm just happy for her. I'm happy for her.
Yeah.
I'm like, she looks so
Yeah,
cute.
and you know, and here's one thing I can say about this, okay? From, you know, I feel like I've said this kind of before about her, when she was in prison, like she didn't has a chance to be a teenager yet. She hasn't had a chance to be a young 21-year-old yet. She hasn't had a chance to do all that stuff. And it's kind of interesting, like when I went through and this is something that happens with trans women a lot. Like when I went through my transition, there is a phase where you do kind of dress a little like more provocatively and you dress a little like kiddish, whatever. You're going through like these stages of, and like every girl can admit that they went through an awkward phase. They did some weird stuff when they were like coming of age or doing whatever, you know what I mean? And making bad decisions, doing bad makeup looks or what, you know what I mean? Like you just go through that like stage. And so her coming out of prison, she hasn't had a chance to live yet. I think she went through that kind of like stage a little bit. And then this moment of her arriving in a blazer suit and hair, makeup, everything done, she was like, this is the woman. Like she is finally, you know what I mean?
Love it.
Before it was like, I'm not a girl, but not.
Yeah, she's like, I'm a woman. I'm a woman.
I'm a woman now.
Oh my God. I can't wait to see where this goes. I can't wait to see what happens next week's. It better be juicy.
I know.
Better have some juice. We could have run into her now.
Every time I leave my house, I need to be ready in case I run into her to get a selfie.
You cannot leave your house with a dead phone. I don't want your phone under 80% when you leave the house.
Yes. I'll be on standby.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, let's move into it. What do we got? We got some questions.
Gotta move on.
You want to ask the question?
Okay.
Or the highlight, low light.
I'll go ask the questions. You do the lowlights and highlights, okay? And this question is from Denise in Oklahoma City. And she says, I need advice on how to stay positive. I just gained 30 pounds and I'm trying to lose it, but I won't be gone for summer.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, who cares? All bodies are a summer body.
Yes.
Get yourself a good swimsuit that you feel comfortable in. Don't try to like starve yourself. Don't try to like, remember when we were younger, there was always like that, drink this juice for 5 days straight, like.
Yes. Go on and have a soup diet and you'll be slim for summer. Like you'll hate your fucking life and like shit your brains out.
Yeah.
So you'll be good for summer. And it's like, no, we're not doing that anymore. I think, Denise, my advice is to just accept where you are. If you're not in a place where you can mess with your body, that's okay. We all in life at some point will go through that. And just accept where you are. Keep doing what you're doing. It's good that, if as long as you're losing weight and doing things to lose weight in a healthy way, just stay focused, stay consistent. Do what Kyle said. Buy something like your swimwear or whatever you want to wear this summer that you feel comfortable, confident in, and just live your life as you would, because your body's always going to change and you don't want to lose yourself on the inside because your outside is changing. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah, and I relate to that. I'm going through something similar right now, where I gained a lot of weight over the pandemic and it caused my blood pressure to go high and a few things. So I'm working on losing it. And there's a part of me that just feels that anxiety of that rush of like, summer's coming, and you know what? I'm not too worried about it. I am working on losing weight, but I'm just following my healthy diet, and like just steady. Just stay steady with what you're doing and don't let that affect you. You know what I mean? But find yourself a good, little like sarong or whatever, something that makes you feel good, and don't hide in the house this summer. Get out and do your stuff, because I have done that where I have been, ashamed or whatever, and I hide in the house, and before I know it, summer's over and I'm like, I just wasted a summer. I just wasted a summer.
I've definitely done that.
Yeah.
I've definitely, in my growing years, I've definitely said no to things, and I refused to wear certain things or do certain things because of my body. And I look back and I'm like, I missed out on quite a few things because I just didn't like the way that I looked. But at the end of the day, you're not really going to remember how you looked at that time. You're going to remember the experiences and the emotions and all the excitement and all the positive joy that those experiences brought to you. So even if,
Yeah.
if you're not where you want to be at your size, then that's okay. But just embrace the body that you're in now and be thankful that you still have the opportunities to do all these things. Like I definitely, during the pandemic and throughout the pandemic and all of this, after my eating disorder and recovering from that, I put on a lot of weight as well. And at first I felt really guilty because I wanted to lose weight, because I was like, well, now I'm not being body positive by saying that I want to lose weight. And I had to really realize that, like, I just wanted to feel good in my body. And as long as I'm not hating myself and punishing myself from it, and I'm just doing things that are good for my body and accepting where I am, then I'm fine. And I think that, just have a fun summer. In fact, do things that you normally wouldn't do just because. Like, just set a bucket list and just fucking go for it and enjoy the body you're in.
Yeah.
Live your life. And here's the thing. Here's the thing that I think everyone needs to hear. And I have actually, over the years, I've called my own personal study, but I have been an observer at the beach because of this. Because so much of my life, I was so scared to go to the beach and wear a bikini. And what I've realized is nobody is paying attention to you. Nobody, if you turn out to the beach and you're in a bikini and, maybe you're not the ideal body shape and size, whatever, nobody's really going to look at you and say anything. People are just there having their own time. And yeah, people might say something to themselves, to other people watching or whatever, but who cares? Like, you're not gonna get, I don't know. I just think that everybody's just having a good time and I think we build it so much up in our head to be this bigger thing than what it is. And we put so much fear in ourselves of going to the beach in our bikinis when we're not feeling great in our bodies, when it's like, realistically, you go there and like nothing's happening. It's just our anxieties and what the media has betrayed to us, because everyone's like, oh, be beach body ready. And they've set this tone that you have to have a certain body in order to be going to the beach. Fuck that. You got a body, you go to the beach. That's it.
Yeah. Yeah. My saying that I always say is we are just wild animals living on a mossy rock, flying through space. It ain't that serious. You know what I mean? Like, it's not that serious, And I feel like we're animals. Who gives a hell? Go do whatever, this summer, I'm telling you what, I'm going to put on a little bikini. I'm going to shake my fat ass and I don't care. Do you know what I mean? She's going to be at the beach. She's going to be I'm ready to have fun this summer, because the last few years I have been so hard on myself and just beat myself up and felt embarrassed to leave the house. And I don't care. It's skin. What's the problem? You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like, if you're grossed out by that, like, go the hell home. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Because we're going to go to the beach.
Yeah, and if you don't like my fucking body, don't look at it. Stop looking at it.
Don't look at it.
Why are you looking at it then?
Yeah. Yeah. Go out there and do it. Yeah. Like, I don't even care. Like, I am like, this summer, honey, in LA, it gets hot. It gets hot. I don't want to be fully clothed. Do you know what I mean? No. No, we're not doing that.
Absolutely not. Okay, highlight. What do we have here? Highlight. Oh, it's just fun. This one is Ash from Wisconsin. And she says, I've been sober for 3 months now. Congratulations.
Good.
I think that's great. I think getting sober is like a very, very hard thing to do. I've never had to face those challenges. My husband's been sober for years. He just wanted to be the best dad that he can be. And he's been sober now. He was sober when I got with him. So I just think that the change in him and the things that he's done since being sober, I just think that it's such a great thing to do. And I think that if it's something that you want to do for whatever reason, then I think you should definitely try to go for it and have the support around you to achieve it and maintain it.
Yeah. And I'm gonna say this, like, I mean, throughout my life, I've struggled with substances, at different times, and I've never hit a point where I went to rehab and got fully sober, you know? But one thing that I did learn is that a lot of it has to do with dopamine, you know? And sometimes at night, I would drink a lot because I needed that hit of dopamine at the end of the day, you know? And for me, I can do other things to get that dopamine hit. You know what I mean? And because whether it's drinking or binge eating or, you know, marijuana or whatever other substances or different things, it's about that dopamine hit, you know? And so after I got sick, with the fibromyalgia and things like that, I had to quit drinking. And not that I'm sober, I do drink occasionally, but it's just not something that I can really do anymore, you know? But when I was doing that, I went straight into binge eating.
Yeah.
And that's how I gained so much weight. And it's the exact same thing, you know? So hopefully, you know, in this sobriety that you have found something healthy to replace that for, you know what I mean?
Well,
And
I think that's it. It's finding a healthy replacement. Like me, I had a problem. So first of all, I've never had a problem at all with drugs. I've never done, like, I smoked. I'm like that meme that anybody knows that 7 times, like, I've smoked pot. Like, I've smoked pot when I was like, I can't do it. I can't. I get too paranoid, whatever. But I've never done a hard drug or anything outside of that because my dad, who had addiction problems at one point, said to me, you cannot touch drugs because you will get addicted because you have an addictive personality. And that just stuck with me. And he was just like, you are the type of person who said, he used to say, I'm telling you, Kris, you can't do it. It'll one time for you and you're done. And thankfully, I am self-aware of certain things of myself, and I was like, yeah, you know what, he's right. I'm not, and I just had no desire to ever do it. Now, the truth being, after my dad died, I wouldn't say I had a problem, but I think I was on the path to having a problem. And actually, not a lot of people even know this, but I was drinking a bottle or like 2 bottles like every night of wine before bed. And I would sit in my little sister's bed because I was just home visiting because I was living in Australia when he died, and I came home and I would drink wine in her bed. And then when I went back to Australia, I realized, I was like, I cannot do this, because I went home and I was watching a TV show. It was like the first day back or something. My ex was taking a nap, and I drank like a bottle and a half of wine before the episode that I was watching even ended. And I was like, mangled. Like, I was like, I can't do this. And I recognized that in me. And I was like, I'm going down a path. Like, it's like right now, I felt like I was genuinely at a crossroad where it was like, I need to stop this right now, or it's gonna turn into a problem. So, you know, I needed a thing, do not bring wine in the house. And I went from April to September without having a drink. And I'm now, yes, my husband is sober, and that's something that he's chosen to do for himself. And, you know, it takes a very strong person to do that. And I have a lot of respect for his ability to do that. But I'm not a big drinker anymore. However, I still will have a drink, like in a social situation, but living with someone who's sober, you don't really feel like you want to drink, if that makes sense. Like, I don't feel the urge like I used to come home and like have a glass of wine, because my husband's not gonna have a glass of wine with me and whatever. But I think that if you can get sober, you can do that and find other things that are good for you. Like, I think that's right. Like, that's what I had to learn. Like, I had to learn to deal with the grief of my dad and go through that grief and learn other things that would help me to get that dopamine hit and make me feel better, that would also allow me to cope. Like, when I tell you, for years, my go-to is just that speak. You know, get my old like pack of cigarettes and a bottle of wine, and I would just like
And a mail back.
yeah, I'd have my Malbec wine. But when I was living in LA, that's what I would do, especially because I didn't smoke cigarettes anymore. I used to be a full-time smoker when like my early 20s and teenager, gross, I know.
Yeah.
But then I would be like, well, I don't want to have a cigarette unless I'm having a drink. But then when I would have like my time, I would get a bottle of wine, and then I would like smoke cigarettes. And like so many cigarettes to get them all. It was so gross looking back. And you know, sometimes I think that I want to do that. And like I'll try to have a cigarette and I'm like, ugh. Like I can't. Yeah, it's like the grossest thing. I genuinely want to enjoy a cigarette. Like I wish I could. I wish I could pick up a cigarette and drop a glass of wine and do that. But I'm an old bitch now. Like I can't. Like I can't do it.
I know. I think about that when I see people smoke. I'm like, oh, if I want a cigarette. But then I'm like, no, they're gross. Anyways, but I really didn't know this. Like, it's similar for me, where like addiction is something that runs in my family, and my parents told me when I was younger. I never saw my parents struggle with addiction, but I saw a lot of family members struggle with addiction. And sometimes when some family members would get out of rehab or different things like that, they would come stay with us until they get back on their feet, and then they would relapse or whatever. So I grew up seeing this a lot. And my parents warned me, and they said, this runs in our genes, and this is something that you're gonna have to watch out for the rest of your life. And I same thing. I've hit a few moments where I scared myself, where I was drinking a bottle, 2 bottles of red wine a night. I was going to Rite Aid, getting the cheapest bottles of wine, downing 2 bottles, and throwing up, and then trying to get up for work the next day. And it was like, what did I do? I watched The Housewives.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
didn't go out last night and hit the club. No, I was at home watching The Housewives.
Yes, no. And I mean, I think like for some people, like, you just grow out of it and you can find a way. And like, we're lucky that it wasn't like an actual addiction or didn't take over our lives or anything.
Yeah.
Right? And then some people, that happens, and some people just want to better themselves. So my advice is eat a lot of candy. Eat a lot of candy.
Yeah.
Because the sugar.
Take one day at a time.
One day at a time. And just, get to know yourself and appreciate your growth, because you're going to grow from it.
Yeah.
So.
Find a hobby. Gardening, biking, exercise, whatever.
Do all the things.
Yes.
Okay, low light.
Okay, you ready for the low light?
Harper and Brooklyn. I went to my mom's for the weekend. I think her house is haunted. I felt the creepy energy, and I was awake all night.
Oh my God.
I would have left.
This is my jam right here.
I would have left.
Okay. So did you? I wonder if she grew up in the house or not. Like if she has like childhood stories from there too.
I knew that.
I wish we knew that. Yeah, but I mean, you're fine. I mean, the ghost, it probably ain't gonna hurt you. It's just gonna scare you a little.
I know that. How do you know that? So how do you know that? Like you don't know. Maybe the ghost will like go in your body and like. Sorry, I don't fuck with that shit. I'm sorry.
She's gonna get possessed?
No, I do drop in the F-bombs. Oh my God. I can't believe how much I keep swearing. But, no, I don't do that. I saw The Sixth Sense when I was like 12 years old. Okay?
Yeah.
That movie traumatized me. Like, actually traumatized me. I still, in the middle of the night, I will not go to the washroom if I have to pee. I will not go if I'm not able to close the door all the night. Because I don't want to see a creature of the night fly by. No. I'm not doing it.
Yeah. No. Not the creatures of the night.
That movie was so scary.
Yeah. You know, and I don't know if I brought this up, but I have pretty bad PTSD from a haunting experience. And I lived in an apartment in downtown LA. And I had been there for about 6 months or so. And I was like, nothing had happened, but I had heard stories. And so there was like one night where I was laying in bed, and I've been like it was like 6 months. And this building was built in it was built in the 1920s.
Not.
And it was a catty corner from the Cecil Hotel.
Yeah. Why?
Like the super haunted Cecil Hotel. That's like they've had all the documentaries about.
You're a little too close.
You never went.
I know what it is.
Yeah.
I know what that hotel is.
Yeah.
And I know you're a little too close. Of course, you're gonna get haunted from there.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm laying in bed one night and I hear some things move around, and I'm like, boom, boom, oh God, something's happening. And then I hear this whisper in my ear, and it was like, it's you again. But it was like,
No.
with an S like that. And it said it will see you again. And I was like, oh, it was so crazy. And then like every night things started to happen, and it would like whisper in my ear with that weird, it still haunts me, that sound. Things would move, whatever. It would be the middle of summer. I had no AC, and all of a sudden it would just be freezing and shivering. And I started having these nightmares every night of this big dark figure like attacking me and trying to kill me in my own bed. And it would be so like real, it'd be so real. And I would wake up in sleep paralysis as it's standing over me. And like by the time and I would be screaming, and I can't move because I'm in sleep paralysis. And by the time it would like boom break up, I would scream so loud, and like neighbors would hear it and things like that. My coworkers, everyone in my life was worried for me. They were like, are you like, speaking of addiction, they were like, are you on drugs? What's happening? And I'm like, I'm not sleeping because I'm being terrorized by this like very dark entity. And like people thought I was crazy. But some people gave me some great advice, and they were like, do this and that. I had to start smudging the apartment. I had to start like doing all these things. A lot of times I'll say like, I'm surrounded and protected by bright white divine energy. And I'd like to say like, I'm not scared of you, and this went on for a period of time before I was able to leave. And I actually left the apartment before my lease was up. I paid for my apartment that I'm in now 2 months in both apartments because I was like, I had to get out of here as soon as possible. Like it was, and I was so scared it was going to follow me. And I still struggle with pretty bad PTSD from it. Like I'm scared of the dark. My light, I like sleep with like a nightlight. I am constantly worried. I have an eye mask on because I just don't want to see, and like and I go to a hotel or something, I'm always scared that something's going to happen. I stay at people's houses, like it's like a huge concern for me. It's something I think about a lot.
Oh my God, please do not tell me.
But I've had a lot of paranormal experiences throughout my life.
Tell me it didn't follow you because like I'm staying at your house soon.
No, it didn't. It didn't.
Because I've stayed there before.
And I've been here for almost...
I've stayed there before.
Yeah.
We've had our slumber parties, but like, I need to know now. Like, that's petrifying.
No ghost are here.
No. I honestly, like, there's some people who are like, oh, I just really want to. No, I don't want to see you. Like, I know that sounds awful.
Yeah.
But like, when my dad died, I was like praying. I'm like, don't ever come to me in like a physical form. Like, you give me signs in other ways,
Yeah. Like I'm really sensitive to like spirits and things like that, and I've seen a lot of ghosts throughout my life or different things like that. I'm not as scared of it, like I'm scared of like a deep entity like that was, malevolent or that. I can't pronounce that, but that were like bad and had bad intentions and was dark, and sometimes I wonder, obviously the hotel, it was an old hotel, the building, and it has a similar history to the Cecil Hotel. And so there's a lot of dark presence that happened there, and God only knows what happened in that apartment. And, but I've seen a lot throughout my life, and so I feel the presence sometimes of my brother who passed like 12 years ago, and my grandma or whatever, or the woman that was like really close with, like, I feel their energy sometimes, or sometimes, I feel that, and I don't mind. They can stop by and say,
I mean, like,
you know.
I feel that too. I have definitely felt the presence of like my grandparents or my dad. Like, you just get like this feeling, and it's a peaceful feeling, and I'm okay with that. And I'm okay. I've seen people in my dreams. I've seen like people have come to me in their dreams. I feel like they've shown themselves to me. Like,
Yeah.
my one of my like my ex-boyfriend that I was with, who's no longer, alive and has passed on.
Yeah.
After he passed away, I was very traumatized by that, but I was like, just thinking all of these things. And when I was sleeping the one night, I feel like he came to me in my dream, and all he did was, and he's never done it again, but I think, just how things went, he just stood at the end of my bed and he touched my big toe, and he was in a blue suit and he was just like staring. And I feel like that was maybe him, maybe letting me know, like, I'm okay, I'm gone or whatever. And I woke up out of my sleep and I didn't feel scared. And I was in such a deep sleep because the kids were awake and they were in the living room. And I hear those kids, like, they're just touch the ground, I'm up. But I slept through all of that. So like that was like a decent, like a nice experience, whatever. But like, no, I don't care. Like, you're my dad. I love you, but like, I don't want to fucking see you again like that. No, no.
She said, we could do a whole episode of ghost stories.
I don't want to. I'll be scared, but yeah, we can.
Okay, Halloween, we're doing a ghost episode, okay? And we're going to talk about all the drama from the other side.
Oh my God. It's so messed up. Well, I think this is our time though. Like,
yeah.
Scary how much we could.
We can just keep going.
Why am I so lame? Like, why? Alrighty. Well, thanks everybody for listening. I hope you're not too creeped out.
No, yeah. And be on the lookout. If you're in LA, be on the lookout for Miss Gypsy herself.
Yes.
Because she is on these streets.
Yes.
She is at the Sephora. She's at the Grove.
Oh my gosh.
She is in town. What if she moves to LA and becomes an influencer?
Then we'll for sure have her on the podcast.
Hell yeah.
Oh my God. Alrighty, guys. Well, thanks for listening, and we'll see you next week.
See ya. Bye.